Tell me about your vision.
Well, how much time you got? I
Um,
I help other people find their vision. So what I'm known for is that I am very good at helping people get their what I call their someday plan out of their head and onto paper, so they will actually execute it, so they can bring the vision to life. And so my vision is to help people create that from it, being an entrepreneur. I'm now building a community for young adults to help them with their vision. It's called Vision is Victory Academy. So lots of ways that I like to serve people with bringing their dreams to life.
yeah, tell me more.
Well, so I started this because when I was in my late 20s, and this was a very long time ago, I was doing the 9 to 5 gig and I wasn't doing it very well. I was changing jobs every 2 years because I just didn't fit the mold. And most entrepreneurs can relate to that, right? So I had a woman who became my first mentor, and she was the first person in my life who said, Carrie, you can create your life to look however you want. You need to just get really clear on what that is. And so I took a day off of work and just sat down and wrote out in great detail what I wanted my life to look like, my family life, where we were living, how we were spending our time, what kind of mom I wanted to be. I knew at that point that I wanted to have my own business from home, especially because we were starting a family. I just didn't know what that was. I just knew that I wanted residual income. I wanted to earn trips, be a leader, be able to just make a really great income and have that flexibility with my kids at home. And so that's what happened. I became an entrepreneur in the industry of network marketing first with a company called Arbonne, which most people are aware of. And I had to teach all of the people that I brought into my organization why they needed to have a written, clear vision. And then I created content around it and became a speaker on it about 12 years ago.
Wow,
Yeah. It's
that's
been quite
awesome.
a journey. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Tell me more. How was that transition like from, hey, this is the 9 to 5 is not for me, and I think I need to be an entrepreneur and work towards my vision. What were you feeling when you wrote it down, and the transition from there to actually achieving the things that you want to achieve?
It's so interesting how this all unfolded. I wrote this out, like I said, when I was about 28, 29, somewhere in there. We did not have children yet, but I knew that eventually we were going to start doing that. So I kept working for a little while. And then one day I got introduced to Arbonne by my best friend, and it checked all the boxes: work from home, residual income, passive income, earning trips, all the things. So I knew at that moment that it was time for me to jump in. And a couple years later, I'd had my son and I was still working full time and he was in daycare. And I was 5 months pregnant with my daughter and I decided to just go all in. So kept working, started building my business, got my business to a point where it balanced out my income for my job so that I could leave my job, get my son out of daycare, and stay home. So I planned the transition. I knew exactly what I needed to be making with my business in order for me to quit the job and make that transition. And I think that's one of the pieces of advice I can give people if they're thinking about doing that is to get a plan and transition into it, knowing your numbers.
Wow, that transition. Were you as working as a solopreneur? Did you have a team around you, or what was that like?
Well, when I transitioned, in the industry of network marketing, you don't really have like people that you hire. Now, as a speaker and a coach, I definitely have a team. I have a VA team. I have a team of people that help me get speaking gigs and on podcasts. I have a team of people that manage all my social media. But that was a whole different transition when I transitioned from building my network marketing team into having my own business. And so I learned from I invested in my first business coach. And she was the first one who, again, helped me figure out, okay, how do I monetize this so that I can start having those people on board and I can delegate out the things that I should not be doing. And that's my second piece of advice I give a lot of entrepreneurs is to plan on having a team and making enough money so that you can, because you should not be doing it all yourself. The only thing I should be doing most of the time is what I'm doing right now.
Just talking to people.
Right. Because nobody else can do that for me. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I stay in my zone of genius.
Yeah, that's what I think most entrepreneurs do need to do. I mean,
Right.
they need to focus on what they do best,
Exactly.
and delegate the other things responsibly.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to look at spending the money, but you have to look at it from a standpoint of it's giving you time back that you can make more money,
Yeah.
right? And it's hard for people to make that switch in their head. I know when you have the right team on board, you can make more money and it more than pays for itself.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that mental block or mental switch, it comes from a place of fear. Or like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know, can I even afford this? Or like, what if I can't pay them? What if this just drains my savings in the thing? And like, what if? And I think a lot of times people just get lazy. They hand it off to other people and then they go enjoy it on the beach or something. And
Right.
that's not what it's supposed to be at that time. So
Right.
yeah,
You know what the real problem is that, and I end up coaching a lot of entrepreneurs around this specifically, is that they don't set enough ROI in place and enough money making activity first in order to be able to do that. So when I first started my speaking and coaching business, I started bringing in clients first so that I knew I could make the money in order to grow and then eventually bring those people on, right? So there's no there's no money making game plan behind most entrepreneurs right now. They're kind of winging it without any metrics. And so I teach a lot about knowing your numbers.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
What would you say, Carrie, is what gets you out of bed every morning to do what you do?
Well, the other part of my story is that I have lost two family members over the past almost 11 years now to suicide. I lost my husband in 2014, and then 3 years later, I lost my 25-year-old son. And because of that, I am very passionate, again, around specifically young adults knowing their vision and their purpose, for all the reasons we're aware of, right? There's just too much depression, anxiety, suicide happening right now. And so I still coach entrepreneurs and I love doing that. But my passion is this community that I'm building now for young adults because I know how much it's needed. And so I talk a lot about that. That's what really drives me now.
Wow. Tell me more about that. Um, what's the what is this community about, and like what is it aimed to do?
So we're just kind of getting started, and what I envision is it's age groups between, let's say, early 20s to early to mid 30s. These are the people who are kind of getting out in the world and starting their adult life and headed into all sorts of struggles. Um, they are not sure that they're following the right path for their life career wise. They are lonely. They're the loneliest generation we have right now. They're very isolated, which is also not good. Money, a lot of fear around making enough money and making money decisions, struggling in their relationships, just a lot of stuff. They're really just drifting and not happy and feeling, and because of that, I think it just takes a toll on their self-confidence, right? So I just really feel like they need a community where they can get together, maybe virtually a couple times a month on a call, to meet each other, talk about what their needs are. I'm going to be bringing on guest expert trainers on different topics like relationships, money, your vision, all the things that I think they need the most amount of help with. I'm hoping maybe later by the end of this year or next year to start doing little retreats so we can literally get together live, because this virtual thing is great, but the in-person interaction I think is huge.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.